Lord Herishfant suspects that someone is conspiring against Lord Francel. As I see it, the key to proving Lord Francel's innocence is discrediting the evidence against him. I speak of the draconian rosary found in the chest you yourself recovered. If you would, please tell me of the incident in question. So it was found in a locked chest labeled as the property of Lord Francel? If the rosary was not his, then someone else with access, must have planted it. Here's what you must do. Return to Skyfire Locks and speak with Rickerman. He works closely with the other porters who ferry goods across Coerthus, so he may have some inkling of who could be responsible. Someone tampering with shipments? Fury, strike me down. If all them rosaries found in our people's possessions were planted, hey now, don't you give me that look, lass. I'm a House Hallinarde man through and through. This heresy nonsense is bad for me and my family too. I ain't saying the porters what were bringing the shipment did it. I know most of them what work with the trade routes, and I've never had cause to question their faith. But if it wasn't them neither, then your guess is as good as mine. After all, most of every shipment is thoroughly inspected before... Could it have been the fellas what were responsible for the inspections? Ha! It's Guardian Knights and the Inquisitors, the lot of them. As if they'd ever turn their cloaks. Reckon that means the porters are your most likely suspects. Hate to think it, but maybe you should question them. There's a crew coming to Camp Dragonhead from White Brim Fount this morning. You might consider having a word with them. Beg your pardon. You suspect that we porters have been planting draconian rosaries in House Hallinarte shipments? What nerve! If you truly believe such nonsense, search our parcels and see what you find. Are we finished? If so, I would appreciate an apology. But that's impossible. Once the night at White Brim Font concluded her inspection, I loaded the parcels into the wagon myself. And if I had been the culprit, I would never have allowed you to search my shipments. Say what you will to Lord Herishfant, I will not be held accountable for this. Did something happen outside? I thought I heard shouting. But more importantly, what did Rickerman have to say? More draconian rosaries? In every single parcel bound for Skyfire Locks? That beggars belief. Even the Inquisitors must acknowledge that this is no more than a crass attempt to sully House Hallinarte's reputation. Whoever's responsible has outplayed his hand. And praise alone that did he. Lord Francel's trial's upon us, and we must act now if we are to clear his name. Lord Herishfant needs you to help clear Lord Francel's name. From the very first, I knew it couldn't have been so many members of House Hallinarte were heretics. At last, we can give the lie to these poisonous allegations and put an end to this travesty. I will need to prepare a formal statement regarding these developments for the Holy See. In the meantime, I would have you bear my words to Inquisitor Bridgie. Tell her that the House Four Temps asks, nay, demands that Lord Francel's trial be postponed until a full investigation has been conducted. What is it, my child? Lord Hershafant would have the Inquisitors do what? But that is not possible. Inquisitor Guillaume presides over Lord Francel's trial at Witchdrop even as we speak. Fear not, if Lord Francel is indeed innocent, he shall walk in Halone's halls with the fallen heroes of Ishgard. They have taken Lord Francel to Witchdrop? This is madness. The Inquisitor does not have sufficient grounds to subject him to that manner of trial. I will not stand idly by and allow an innocent man to die. Tolucc, I would dispatch you with one of my knights to Witchdrop to first forestall the proceedings until such as a time I am able to join you and petition Inquisitor Guillaume in person. I will endeavor not to keep you waiting too long. Do whatever you must to keep Lord Francel alive. Hail, Tolucc. As you can see, Lord Francel yet lives. We must try to reason with the Inquisitor, but if his guards judge us a threat, we must also be prepared to defend ourselves. Jocelyn Charlemagne Francel de Halonarte, you stand accused of heresy against the Holy See of Ishgard. Is there aught you wish to say in your defense? Hear me, brothers! These charges are false! The men and women of my line have ever opposed the Dravanians, and I am no different. Since the very birth of our nation, we have gladly shed blood in service to the Holy See. Condemn me and you will strike a blow for the enemies of Ishgard. It is for her alone to judge if you speak the truth. Prove your innocence in the eyes of God and men. Leap from the cliff and entrust your fate to the Fury. The righteous shall take their place in Halone's halls, while the wicked shall revere their Dracian forms and be put to the sword. In the name of House Fortemps, I beseech you, stay your hand. Inquisitor, we have come on behalf of Lord Hershafant. My lord has uncovered evidence which suggests that the charges against Lord Francel are without merit. We humbly request that these proceedings be suspended until such a time as a full re-examination of the facts have been conducted. Lord Hershafant has allowed his personal relationship with the accused to cloud his judgment. That he should harbor private doubts, I might have allowed, but that he would dare interfere in legal proceedings sanctioned by the Holy See, I cannot. To defy the will of an Inquisitor is to commit heresy, a crime for which there is but one punishment. We must hold them until Lord Hershafant arrives, Tolucc, and remember, no harm can come to the Inquisitor. It is not our intention to defy the will of the Archbishop. But this trial, like many others I fear, has been orchestrated by enemies of the House Hellenarte. They have used you and your fellows to sow discord, Inquisitor, to set brother against brother, that we may now tear ourselves apart. The fevered imaginings of a desperate man. What proof have you of this? By the Fury, a draconian rosary? Then the knight who refused to yield. It was he who summoned the wyvern. A heretic in the rank of the Temple Knights? This has grave implications. Your claims would appear to have merit, Lord Herishfant. I shall withdraw my charges against Lord Francel, pending further investigation. I trust you have not lost sight of that which first brought you to Coerthas, Tolucc. Pray, locate your airship and use it. Lord Herishfant, I have not the words to express my gratitude, but why would you risk your reputation to save mine? Because I know you, boy. You're too loyal to betray Ishgard and too devout to question your sentence. Had we been any slower, you would have jumped off of your own free will. I would have done whatever it took to redeem House Hellenarte. Praise alone, it did not come to that, but it profits us little to dwell on what might have been. Let us quit this place, Tolucc. Pray, visit me at Camp Dragonhead once you have recuperated. You look well, Tolucc. May I say what a pleasure it was to fight alongside such a fearless and skillful warrior? Were it not for you, Lord Francel would surely have died defending the honor of his house, and I might well have perished at the hands of a heretic and his wyvern. House Fortemps and House Hellenarte shall never forget your service. Now, let us return to the matter of your missing enterprise. Lord Herishfant would like to introduce you to his witness. The man with knowledge of the enterprise awaits you outside. I pray his information proves useful to you. How quickly the commoners' opinions change. They say Lord Francel is innocent now, but just a few days prior... Anyway, you were inquiring as to the whereabouts of an airship last seen in Coerthas several days before the calamity, yes? Well, it so happens that I was monitoring the night skies at the observatorium during that period. I recall that a small vessel came from the direction of the Gridania and landed near the Stone Vigil in the far northwest. The garrison almost certainly seized the vessel and brought it within their walls. If so, then you would need an army of knights to have any hope of securing it. Though Lord Herishfant is, from all indications, quite fond of you, so mayhap he can lend you a few? In any case, I have done my part. I shall pray for your success, friend. Oh, so you've at last located the enterprise. I believe congratulations are in order. The Stone Vigil? Ah, perhaps I spoke too soon. The outpost has been held by the dragons for years, and all access is restricted by decree of House Doronair. I will write a letter to Lord Drillmont of Whitebrim Font and request that he grant you permission to enter. That said, I fear my influence alone will not suffice, so I suggest that you request Lord Francel to do the same. Now that your business in Camp Dragonhead is concluded, I suspect we may not meet again for some time. I wish you well in your journey, Tolucc. May Helone guide you. Wonderful to see you again, Tolucc. If there's anything I can do to repay you, name it. So, the airship you seek is likely inside the Stone Vigil? It shames me to say that it was too once an outpost held by House Hellenart. In the chaos that followed the calamity, the Dravanian horde caught us unawares. The fiends have held the outpost ever since. As we lack the strength of arms to retake the Stone Vigil, House Durdenair instead has been charged with the duty. Given that, I doubt that my words will carry much weight with Lord Drillmont. Nevertheless, I will write you your letter. Before you depart, a word of caution. The cravens who attempted to destroy House Helenarte have yet to be unmasked. Though their plans were foiled, they doubtless still harbor a great hatred towards us, and towards you now as well. You desire an audience with Lord Drillmont, do you? Ha! I desire a night in a warm bed with my wife, but wishing won't make it so. What do we have here? Letters from Lord Harshaphant and Francel, is it? A likely... Oh, you're serious? What to do? Sir Brunadier seems ill-inclined to help you. Your timing could not have been worse, traveler. Lord Drillmont's attentions are focused solely on the Stone Vigil at present. In any case, it's not my responsibility to escort visitors. Take your letters and show them to Sir Alboys. Yes, Sir Alboys can surely accommodate you. Seek her in the storeroom on the opposite side of the yard. So Brunadier bade you speak with me, did he? I know not why he presumed I'd be in a better position to help, but I assure you that he is mistaken. Lord Drillmont hasn't the time to spend speaking with low-ranking knights such as I. However, he always has a moment to spare for head Shurigan Astidian. Why not visit the infirmary upstairs and show your letters to him? Are you here to visit a patient, madam? What's this? Letters of introduction from House Fort Temps and Helenarte. With documents such as these, you needn't seek an escort. Pray, proceed to the barracks and speak with Sir Gourno. He should know Lord Drillmont's current whereabouts. What reason have you for barging into... Oh, I see. Well, you're in luck. Lord Drillmont is just up these stairs. Letters or no, though, I would not expect much. House Durdenair is, as a whole, does not hold adventurers in high regard. You had best state your intentions quickly and sufficiently. Should proper respect, and it shall be returned in kind. Sir Gourno permitted your passage? Very well, speak. You wish to brave a ruined outpost filled with skeleton to secure an airship that may or may not be there? Are you the avatar of Fury herself? We are the signs of the seventh dawn, Lord Drillmont. You know our name, and you know our deeds. We are come to Coerthus to slay Garuda, Lady of the Vortex. To that end, we seek the Enterprise, the airship of Master Sid Nangalarn, who stands before you now. Master Garland, you're alive, but that's impossible. Indeed, it is, my lord. Do not be deceived by their honeyed words. These foreigners are not to be trusted. At this critical moment in Ishgardian history, as House Dudenair marshals its forces to retake the Stone Vigil, who should appear in White Brim Font but three mysterious strangers? Sid Garland, missing and presumed dead since before the Calamity, and two Scions of the Seventh Dawn, a defunct band of misfits recently exterminated by the Empire? The lesser houses may have been duped by these grandiose lies, but I should hope that House Dudenair would have a greater sense. I know not why these three seek the Stone Vigil, but I know that we cannot permit them to pass. Thank you for your counsel, Inquisitor. For a moment I nearly believed this mummer's farce. You three will not enter the outpost until we have reclaimed it, and until you declare your true intentions as well. It could be moons before House Dudenair purges the dragons from the Stone Vigil. We cannot afford to wait that long. Sid, Tolucc, we must do whatever it takes to earn Lord Drillmont's trust. Understood? Halstford is eyeing you with interest. You the last responsible for that commotion upstairs? Aye, word travels fast in White Brim Font. I gather you still wish to change Lord Drillmont's mind? If there's one thing I've learned about the man in my time here, is that he listens to and respects the opinions of those under his command. Went over the barracks and he's sure to take notice. How, you ask? That's easy. Serve the poor souls decent fare for a change. The last few supply shipments contain no meat whatsoever, and the knights are rightfully beginning to complain. I'm thinking we could prepare them steaks using mud puppy tail meat. 'Twouldn't be the quality meat, 'tis true, but it'd be damn sight better than nothing. If you've a mind to lend a hand, why not await a lurk in Mud Puppy and Danafin Pass? Take this bottle of vinegar. Locals say it weakens mud puppies by clogging their mucus glands, drying their skin. It didn't work, did it? I thought it was an idiotic idea. Oh dear. Remind me never to wander near mud puppy spawning grounds without a bottle of vinegar. Any road. This should only take a moment. I'll just need to do this, and voila. Never seen a man cook steaks that fast, have you? Take these 3 and distribute them to the hungry knights here. And up above. Ah, yes, I feel invigorated and refreshed, as if I had the strength of 10 men, and their wits besides. I should have no trouble concocting a new reason to refrain from sentry duty. We ought to at least receive a hearty meal before we march off to die in this god's forsaken waste. Is that fresh cooked steak? Helen's blessings be upon you, my friend. Mud puppy meat or no, it's the most delicious food I've had in a fortnight. Ever must we train to maintain our skill at arms, yet never are we to receive proper sustenance? You are a godsend, my friend. Too few appreciated that House Dudair must do more than its fair share for the sake of Ishgard. It feels wonderful to see everyone in such high spirits. Amazing what good food can do for morale, eh? But I've forgotten about the hard-working chirurgeons at the infirmary. So rarely do they take their meals here in the hall. Mind taking this steak to Sonoda? She's doubtless so preoccupied with the health of her patients that she's neglected to attend to her own. Beg your pardon, madam, but I am busy attending to this man. I will be with you in a moment. Is that... Come to think of it, it has been a while since I last ate. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to have a nibble. Oh my, this is fantastic. Thank you so much. I'll eat the rest right away. Sid would like to furnish the infirmary with a new Albec. Might I have a word with you, Tolucc? It concerns the chirurgeons. After speaking with them earlier, I learned that they lack sufficient alembics for their needs, you see. So I used some of their broken equipment to craft a more advanced alembic, both as a gesture of goodwill and as a means to help me recover my memories, since working with my hands kindles familiar feelings. All I require to complete the device are the cores of 3 ice sprites. Though commonly used to reduce the temperature of alchemic mixtures, there is a way to alter their properties so that they can draw the cold within rather than radiate it out. It must sound ridiculous to you, impossible even, yet somehow I know it will work. Have you obtained the cores? If so, please show them to me. What an amazing device, but is it truly an alembic, sir? I've never seen it like before. I'm too unsure what to make of this machine. While certainly impressive, I have no idea what to make use of it. Nevertheless, if it isn't effective as he claims, it'll be a great boon to have in the infirmary. Think of the medicines we could create, the lives we could save. Even so, I wonder. Wear thee the kindly stranger, bearer of the gifts wondrous and strange, for his generosity comes at cost. Their earnest efforts are but a means to an as yet unknown end. Moreover, you should be wary of associating with individuals who have interfered with the questioning of a suspect heretic. They did what? Bless you, Inquisitor, for coming along when you did. We almost succumbed to the temptation proffered by these unbelievers. Why does that man detest us so? Is it all because we interrupted Lord Francel's trial? Whatever his reasons, he clearly means to oppose us at every turn. Cid is concerned about Inquisitor Guillaume. Before we can persuade Lord Drillmont to help us, it seems we must convince Inquisitor Guillaume that we are not his enemy. But just how might we go about doing that? We know little and less about the good Inquisitor, despite him being such a prominent figure in Coerthas. Perhaps we should learn more by speaking with the people of Whitebryn Forum. Share your findings with Alphanod in the square. I'm sure he can formulate a strategy from there. Inquisitor Guillaume? Yes, of course I know him. Alas, I have not seen him since the day he came to Whitebryn Front several moons ago. My memory is somewhat muddled, but I recall that a blizzard nearly buried us in the snow that day, and I had the ill fortune of being assigned to the night's watch. While the stronghold slept, we walked the walls and patrolled the exterior in the darkness, black as pitch. My route took me outside the eastern gate at one point, where I caught sight of a silhouette illuminated by the light of the city. Thinking it was a wayward traveler, I cried out and gave chase, but slipped and took a terrible fall. When I woke, it was days later in this very bed, where I have lain recuperating from my injuries ever since. I have tried to rescue him, but in the end Inquisitor Guillaume rescued me, carrying my unconscious body to the gates. I owe him my life, madam, and I hope to one day repay his kindness. Inquisitor Guillaume? I haven't the foggiest to whom you speak. Unbeliever. Aye, we have learned of your deeds at Witch Drop. I will not be party to whatever dastardly schemes you've hatched against the Inquisitor. Away with you. Under Inquisitor Guillaume's watchful gaze, unprecedented numbers of heretics have been unmasked and brought to justice. They say he goes days without sleep, so great is his devotion. Blessed are we to have such a goodly, righteous man to protect us. The Holy See has decreed that the Inquisitors are the arbiter of Holone's will. They are to be afforded every courtesy and the utmost respect. In case you have yet to notice, my attire is ill-suited to this climate. I realized it soon after our arrival, but paid it no mind as I had hoped we might find the Enterprise far faster. Instead, we've wasted far too much time meddling in local affairs. Never mind. Our journey is almost at an end. All that remains is to deal with this irksome Inquisitor. Sid tells me you have been busy making inquiries, yes? It should come as no surprise that he is held in high regard. Even so, I am beginning to suspect he has other reasons for hindering us now. Let us more closely review the testimonials you obtained, Tolucc. Mayhap they will provide insight into who Inquisitor Guillem's motivations. Alphino appears to be deep in thought. Something troubles me about that wounded knight's account. He claims he fell chasing a figure in the darkness that he saw outside the eastern gate, yes? But the main road leads to the southwestern gate. Since we've arrived in Whitebeam Front, I've seen no travelers arrive by the eastern gate. Moreover, he said he glimpsed a silhouette illuminated by the light of the city, which would imply that the Inquisitor came from north of the eastern gate, not south. But it cannot be so. That way lies naught but a deep chasm. Assuming Sir Jolette is not misremembering, the Inquisitor's behavior that night makes absolutely no sense, at least not to me. Mayhap retracing his steps will shed light on this mystery. You found something, didn't you? Well, don't keep me waiting in suspense. Let's see it. Given the contents of this encyclical, I believe you have just made the acquaintance of the real Inquisitor Guillem. Newly come to Coerthas and murdered on the day of his arrival? Yes. It would have been a simple thing to assume his identity, or even if it were to behave oddly. Who would dare question the wisdom of a papal appointment? Still, while this is incontrovertible proof that the Inquisitor is an impostor, we have yet to discern his true identity, or why he has decided to oppose us. We must proceed quickly, Tolucc, before he learns that his deception has been discovered. Alphino is determined to discover Inquisitor Guillem's true identity. Since Lord Drillmont has already been turned against us, I fear that this encyclical alone will not serve to convince him of our claims. But what might persuade a man so quick to disregard the endorsements of two high houses? The cook did say that the Lord listens to and respects the opinions of his knights. If a certain knight were to provide testimony that supports our claim, yes, mayhap this is the only way left to us. Confront Sir Jolette with the evidence you discovered and see if it helps him to recall the truth of that night. As a man of faith, he may find it difficult to cope with such horrifying revelation. Nevertheless, we must do everything within our power to secure the enterprise. Oh, you've returned. Is there something else you wanted to ask me? The Inquisitor is an impostor? Don't be preposterous. That could not possibly be true. He is a paragon of virtue, a dedicated servant of the Fury. You would have me believe that that is all a lie? If you are so certain that this ludicrous story is true, then go and speak with Sir Prunella. She was at the Eastern Gate that night, and she helped the Inquisitor carry me. But I will never speak against the man who saved my life. You! I do not believe I know you, madam. Pray, move along and trouble me no more. Are you in the habit of handing bloody documents to strangers? Why would you show me such a dreadful thing? I know naught of it, not at all. You know, don't you? Fury take me, I prayed this day would come. When Sir Jolent gave chase, I followed close behind. He didn't fall. One of those Dravanian abominations lashed out at him, nearly killed him right then and there. I drew my sword and rushed to his side, straining to see the enemy, but what came from the dark was not a beast, but a voice. He knew things about me, about my family, secrets I had never told another. He said that if I kept his confidence, so Jolent and I would be spared, but if I defied him, everyone I loved would suffer unimaginable horrors before they died. When at last I agreed to his terms, the man came forward. His robe marked him as an inquisitor, but I knew him to be false. Together we carried Jolent to the infirmary, and on his first night in White Brim Front, Inquisitor Guillaume was heralded as a hero. Soon after came the accusations. Countless men and women of good moral standing seized whilst in possession of draconian rosaries. As I feared, he was condemning the innocent men to death. I wanted to confess to Lord Drillmont, wanted to put an end to this madness, but then I would be remembered as the Inquisitor's threats, and so I did nothing, until Lord Francel was accused. Some time ago, I followed the Inquisitor and found that he kept draconian rosaries in a chest hidden southeast of White Brim Front. So, I took several from his chest and planted them in shipments bound for Skyfire Locks. As I hoped, they were discovered and considered evidence of a conspiracy against House Hellenhart, thus exonerating Lord Francel and casting doubt on the other recent trials. And that is the entire truth, I swear. Helone, forgive me for not acting sooner. Why do you persist in this folly? I will not grant you 3 access to the Stone Vigil. Do not make me repeat myself. There had better been a very good explanation for why you're carrying these rosaries. And where did you find this papal encyclical? Fury take me. The Inquisitor is a heretic? Never before have I heard such an unbelievable tale, but this evidence in your testimony could have no other explanation. I have misjudged you and your friends, Tolucc, and for that I deeply apologize. I will permit you to enter the outpost, but first, I must needs beg your assistance. Help me and my knights bring this infernal impostor to justice. Lord Drillmont requires your assistance in bringing this heretic masquerading as Inquisitor Guillaume to justice. The thrice damned heretic has murdered countless innocents and made a mockery of our laws. Hell's take him and his Dravanian allies. I am told he makes for Snowcloak even now, intending to pass judgment upon yet another poor soul whom he has branded heretic. If we hurry, there may still be time to prevent further tragedy. Lend me your strength, Tolucc. Together, let us put an end to this impostor's heresy once and for all. Good to have you with us, miss. When Lord Drillmont arrives, we are to confront the Inquisitor. If he refuses to go quietly, we will need to use force. Are you prepared for that eventually? You needn't tremble so, my child. The righteous shall enjoy everlasting peace in Helone's halls. Only the wicked... But why? Why must I die? By all that is holy, I swear to you, I have never questioned the teachings of Helone. Inquisitor, release the maid and come with us. My Lord Drillmont, what is the meaning of this interruption? You are aware that I am, at present, conducting an interrogation, are you not? Silence, villain! I name thee heretic, murderer of Inquisitor Guillaume and countless innocents. You are a traitor to Ishgard, to your own kith and kin. Your sins are beyond measure, beyond redemption. Grave allegations indeed, but you will find your logic is flawed. How can I betray that which I owe no allegiance? No, Lord Dromont, my conscience is quite clear, I assure you. I wonder, can you say the same? You whose hands are black with the blood of those whose only sin was to question your nation's crazed crusade? You speak to me of Ishgardian innocence? Ha! All are complicit in these crimes, for all the lives, their lives by the Archbishop's lies. But I know you will not hear me. Deafened by the dogma as you are, if you desire retribution, Lord Dromont, then come. Let us see how Ishgardian still fares against Trevanian Fang and Claw. My clamors dispelled. Your plans lie in ruin, heretic. Choose your words wisely, for they will be your last. You may not recall the many Ishgardians I have sentenced, but the families of the dead will never forget. Blood has been repaid with blood, and for that I am content. My only regret is that you yet live. But your end is nay, foreigner. The dragons within the stone vigil will rend you asunder, and when you are dead, White Brim Front shall fall. Defiant to the last, leave the body for the crows. His ilk deserves naught better. Tolucc, I must apologize for involving you in this sordid business. You should never have been asked to intervene in Ishgardian affairs of state. Rest assured, I have not forgotten the matter which brought you into our midst. It is past time that you were reunited with your airship. But this is not a place to discuss such matters. Pray, visit me at the White Brim Front and bring your associates. Where have you been, Tolucc? The false inquisitor has been slain, has he? Yes, well, his was a tale anyways like to end in bloodshed. Though you have overcome the latest in a long line of unfortunate impotence, I would ask that you not reveal in your victory just yet. We can celebrate once we have secured the Enterprise. Alphino is eager to enter the Stone Vigil. As I am sure you will agree, it is past time we enter the Stone Vigil. Pay Lord Drillmon a visit and remind him of his obligations to us. Sid and I will follow anon. We owe you all a great debt of gratitude. Had it not been for you, the heretic masquerading as Inquisitor Guilliman would still be among us, free to prey upon the innocent. I see now that I was a fool to dismiss your claims out of hand, but you must understand, it seemed too much to hope that for the signs of Seventh Dawn ye still lived, to say nothing of Master Garland. Never have been happier to have been proven wrong. Well, it is gratifying to know that someone has derived a measure of enjoyment from your error. Now, if you must have no further objections, we would appreciate it if you would permit us to enter the Stone Vigil and retrieve our airship. Yes, of course. It's the very least I can do, given all that you have done for us. But entering the outpost is the least of your concerns, I fear. You speak of the Dravanians that now hold the ruin? In part, yes. I should explain. Shortly after you first arrived, I had my men scour the old records. They confirmed that an abandoned airship had been seized by the soldiers garrisoned at the Stone Vigil in the days following the calamity. As far as we have been able to ascertain, it was still in the custody when the outpost was overrun by the dragons. Whether it was damaged or destroyed during the battle, I cannot say, nor can I give you any assurances that it has not been removed in the intervening years. For far too long, the ruin has served as a Dravanian foothold in Coerthas, from which they have struck out as us depressing regularity. Though we have been pushed them back behind the walls, we have yet been unable to drive them out, and I cannot say when the situation will change. Or how it will change. Forgive me, Lord Drillmon, but there is no guarantee that you will prevail, and in any event, we have not the time to wait. We will secure our property without Ishgardian aid. I see. Well, that may be for the best. I will inform Sir Nathaniel of your impending visit. May alone guide you, Scions. Hail, Tolucc. Lord Drillmon has apprised me of the situation. You may enter the Stone Vigil whensoever you will. It's the Enterprise. Yes, just beyond that enormous sleeping dragon. The dragon is not our concern. We have come for the airship and the only airship. Sid, you and I will sneak aboard the Enterprise and prepare it for launch. Tolucc, you stay here and keep an eye on that beast. If it wakes and you manage to provide a distraction until we are ready to depart, you can manage that, can't you? That settles it, shall we, Sid? As you command. So you mean to slay Garuda next? Interesting. Most interesting. And you are aware that her strength greatly exceeds that of the previous primal conquest? A testament of the fanatical devotion of her followers, the Ixal are nothing if not zealous. In spite of your past achievements, I labor to believe that you will best this foe. Yet only a fool would underestimate the great bringer of light, slayer of Ifrit, bane of Titan. If any mortal is capable of defeating the Lady of the Vortex, it is you. Win or lose, the battle should at least make for an entertaining spectacle, assuming, of course, you live that long. Alphanod, the dragon! Confound it all. Let us see how well your blasphemous gift serves you this time, Crystal Bearer. Tolucc, are you alright? Speak to me! 12 be praised. I feared the beast had injured you. I see now why the others rated you so highly. When you were caught in the midst of that etheric bubble with the dragon, I was all but certain my next mission would be to find a new champion. Thank the gods for sparing me that inconvenience. I have quite enough to do already, which reminds me, Sid is working on the Enterprise as we speak. Let us go and see what he has to say. What say you, Sid? Will she fly? Yes, though it won't be a pleasant ride. Well, I dare say it'll be no more unpleasant than staying here. 'Tis a pity the Enterprise is not in better state, but if she will allow us to quit this place, I shall not complain. If we are all in agreement, let us return to Gridania. Though I would like nothing more than to set course for the Howling Eye, it is plain the Enterprise is in no condition to weather the storm. She must needs be repaired if we are to proceed with our mission. This is all so familiar. I know this airship. If I could just... it's no use. Let's go. How I have longed for the more agreeable climate of the Twelveswood. Yet, I will not deny the Holy See had its charms. Endless detours aside, our Ishgardian jaunt proved quite an adventure. Alas, our work is far from done. We still have an airship to repair and a primal to slay. No rest for the heroic, eh?